Jordan Peterson says that divorce is like non-terminal cancer.
I think it's roughly equivalent to having non-fatal cancer.
But I say it's a forge. When you take the right approach, it can lead to the best years of your life. So I'm going to prove him wrong with my own personal experience. There's a clip I haven't seen in many years, and I'm going to react to it. So if you're thinking about divorce or ending a long-term relationship of any kind, or you've done it and you're depressed, hang in here with me. I'm going to tell you how things have worked out for me. They've been positive, so let's get into it.
That's actually why people get married, you know, just so you know. Because this is built into marital vows. I'm not leaving. Ever, no matter what. It's like, okay, well, that definitely puts a boundary around our arguments.
That is an extreme statement. And like, we can't, that's not literal, right? That you don't leave no matter what in cases of abuse or extreme things. And then there's this whole spectrum in between.
Our arguments, right? Because I can't say every time you manifest one of your flaws, which you're likely to do just as often as me, well, enough of this. It's like, that's horrible, man. If your whole life is, well, every time you get out of line, I'm out of here. It's like, how the hell?
This is like, it's hyperbole. And I want to make clear that I respect Jordan Peterson. He's probably my favorite. But when it comes to some things, like this one in particular, where it's based more out of his personal convictions, I think sometimes it gets hyperbolic. And this is one of them. Like, if you manifest any flaws, I'm out of here. That's one extreme. And then it's like, I'll stay here no matter what, under every circumstance. Like, those are polar opposites. I think there's a whole lot of ground in between.
Hell are you? First of all, you're not going to admit to ever doing anything wrong. Second, you're going to be on you're like a scared cat the entire relationship, because, well, who knows, it could just come to an end at any moment.
And you shouldn't ever feel like a scared cat for someone else leaving. If you got to that point, that's one of the things that you need to correct. It's one of the, if you need to find yourself that badly. I mean, when you love a person and they compliment your life and they make it better, the thought of them leaving should be extremely painful, but never should you be walking on eggshells like a scared cat. That would be indicative of a poor relationship. And I don't think you have to think this person's staying here no matter what I do to them to get out of that feeling. You just need to be with another good person that you're compatible with.
If the possibility of divorce is open, it makes you free. It's like, yeah, that's what you want. You want to be free, eh? Really? Really? So you can't predict anything. That's what you're after. It's a vow. And it says, look, I know that you're trouble. Me too. So we won't leave, no matter what happens. Well, that's a hell of a vow, but that's why it's a vow, right? That's why you take it in front of a bunch of people. That's why it's supposed to be a sacred act. It's like, what's the alternative? What's the alternative?
You should have vetted these flaws in this human that you're choosing to be with, and they should have done the same with you. And it's not that you're surprised by the flaws. It's that on the whole, this person adds more to your life than they take away. Their positives outweigh it. So, you know, you would choose out of just self-interest to remain with a person who's making your life better. It doesn't have to be out of a vow to stay despite the fact that they're full of all these human flaws. I mean, as adults, we know that we're going into a relationship with a flawed human, but many people change over time, and not always for the better. And if you're in a position where your self-esteem is suffering, where the person that you're with is taking away from this one life that you have, you should definitely consider leaving.
Everything is mutable and changeable at any moment. Well, go ahead. You live your life like that and see what you're like when you're 50. Jesus, it's dismal. 2 or 3 divorces, your family's fragmented, you've got no continuity of narrative.
Okay, so that's me. I'm 46, I'm divorced, my family is separated. I'm in a better position now than I've ever been. When I went through the divorce, I was in more pain than I've ever been in. Well, I often think about the divorce as the fire that reforged me. And it's like you could let that fire burn you down, or you could recognize that that pain is the impetus for making a change that's greater than any you've made before in your life. You're gonna have more time after a divorce to focus on yourself. You're gonna be older with more wisdom and more income, and you're gonna have all this pain that's driving you to get off your ass and do something. And if you actually do it and you do it with some focus, and the 3 areas I like to focus on is your physical health, financial well-being, right? And your mindset. And you can conquer those 3 things like never before. I'm in better shape now, and you can look at some of my videos and see that, than I was in my 20s. My finances are strong. There's not someone out recklessly spending. Yeah, there's a hit with divorce, but now I'm focusing on investments, and I've retired young in my life, but now I get to focus on things I have a passion for, this channel being one of them. And that feels great. And I think when you're doing that, you're a more attractive person to other people. And it's led to me meeting a person who I'm very compatible with. She has kids, and I'm an important role in their life. And she's become another person, another positive role model in my kids' lives. And so now I just made a point during this divorce that even though my time may be fragmented now that I spend with my kids, that they get my full attention. And there's probably more quality time with my kids now than when I was married. Jordan talks about continuity of narrative.
You've got no continuity of narrative.
That you lose that continuity. And that stuff did get to me in the beginning. There were times, like the hardest part was when I was in a new house and I was waking up and my kids weren't here and it was quiet. And I would think back over the history of them being babies and growing up, and then this lack of continuity. And it was painful. So if you're going through it and you're feeling like that, I just want you to know that I did feel those things. It was the hardest time in my life. But if you're springboarding out of your divorce and treating it like the forge that I talk about, you're gonna be so busy improving your body, improving your mindset, improving your finances, building a business, those things, this better version of yourself, that most of your days are just going to be full, and you're going to be excited for the improvements that you're making. But even if that doesn't work, the truth is that you do have continuity. That's the chapter in your life where the hero is born. You're under this pain right now. You can either let that be a fire that burns you, or you can let it be a forge that builds you.